How's everyone doing today? Hopefully doing well. I know I don't know what I'm doing today. It's kind of one of those days, you know what I mean? You're just kind of like, I could take it or leave it. More than likely, I've just put a little too much on my plate. So now I'm just like, ugh, I have to do what now? But exercised and got myself my pre-stream milkshake. Word. For those that don't know, it's like spinach, like raw baby spinach leaves, banana, blueberry, frozen strawberry, some milk, and then like a mix of different healthy seeds, so like chia seeds and things of that nature. It's pretty good. Certainly a good way to eat like a lot of your nutrition. And I was feeling kind of mentally sluggish, so I was like, well, I did go to the grocery store. I did grab some like caffeinated drink just in case, but you know, we vibing. As far as what we need to do today, let's see, I even have my pen here. Look at me, so prepared. So, what? Why are you being weird? Oh, that's why. There we go. Okay. Hey, Lex. Man, you hopped on quick. You must have been awake. How you doing? That's not creepy at all. Well, stop it. But yeah. Today we're gonna kind of look into finishing up this map, importing the objects into the game, and then hopefully design or like code the interaction. I feel like the coding shouldn't be that complicated because it's literally like, I want you to go from here to here. And then we can get into the good stuff, like designing how we want the like imposters to spread and things of that nature. I also think we need to actually, even before the design, we'll probably have to do like the phone calls. Nothing crazy, literally just a sound and then a text that will pop up that will say like imposter or not imposter, right? Getting into the complexities of the actual narrative design of the calls will be a much later thing, once we got the feel of it right. So, as far as what we ended up deciding on, just kind of as a reminder to ourselves, man, my handwriting stinks. I could barely read this. People get scared, pack up and drive away. 15 houses, first call is always a person. That's the assumption because the people left it. But it isn't because the people left the house. And then we talked about how like throughout the town, not everyone is in their house because they left. And then people could potentially pick up and leave, but only if the gas station hasn't been taken over. Or we might, actually just a thought of right now, if the gas station is taken over, whoever tries to get up and leave will then be killed. Because they stop by the gas station to either fix their car or get more gas, and then they are proceeded to be taken out there. Which is a pretty interesting way of going about it. And here is all the list of different like interesting landmarks. Because I'm trying to think as far as like in a small town like this, what would be a good ratio between people who live there and people who work there, right? I would imagine for the most part, unless they are retired, which I think some of these people we definitely will consider retired, there's a significant portion that, like, it should be equal. For every job opportunity, there is a person to work at that job. So, like, a diner. A small diner, I would say you could probably do, like, 4 people at a diner. You need the cook, you need a server, and you need, like, a manager, and then you need, like, a busboy, right? Assuming that you're not switching people out and around, right? So, as long as we kind of go about in that aspect, I think maybe 1 in 4, right? If we have, let's say we have 20 houses, right? Let's say we have 20 houses. That would leave us 5 important landmarks that people are working at. Maybe we should think it through, right? So, let's see. Let's make another layer. Let's see here. We have... Why is this green? There we go. That's probably because I was working on the thumbnail. Okay, we have the diner. That's way too thick. We don't need it. We don't need the line that thick now. The diner. Well, do we want the diner is the question. Do diners tend to be 24/7? Let's look it up. Are there 24-hour diners? Yeah, but there's no way there would only be one person working all that time, right? If it was a 24-hour diner, because we need, right? Like as far as needs, right? We need a place for children, teens, adults, and seniors, right? We need at least a decent distribution. And in my brain, I'm thinking bell curve, right? I would say a vast majority of people that live in this small town are adults. Children and seniors are the least, and then teens are like between the two. To kind of put in perspective, it would be similar to like, we'd be like 1, 2, 4, 1. Something like that. Like that's the ratio. There's 1 children to 2, there's 2 teens for every kid, and there's 2 adults for every teen. I think I'm getting too hard into it. Basically, diner I don't think should be on our top priority. Let's do What would be fun? Ooh, the park. The park is so much fun, though. But as far as ratio-wise, it's a landmark that doesn't have really any kind of person. So let's begin with that then. So park plus ice cream is one person. The one person being the person who sells the ice cream. I don't think the park by itself requires anything else. Hardware store, we definitely like that. We're gonna do how should we do this? We're gonna do name, amount of people, and then type, people type. And as far as people type, it's kind of like, okay, if we were going to get a call about something happening in the park, what age group would it fall under? Right, in the middle of the night. In my brain, children are not out and about in the middle of the night. If we're gonna get calls from children, they're gonna be from the house. But then again, I don't know, my brain's hatching kind of something interesting. So what if you have a kid who things went wrong at home, either by, imposter or otherwise, and so the kid goes to where he feels happy, where he feels safe, and that is the park, where there's a playground. So he's at the playground in the middle of the night, and then we get a call from 911, and it's a kid. Maybe there's like a payphone or something at the park, where he's just like, yeah, I'm here at the park. There's something happening at my home, and he's like, but I'm here at the park because I'm scared. And so you send someone out there, and that's when you get a call from the cops, from the people that you sent over, saying like, hey, yeah, there's an ice cream truck here. And you're like, what? Why is there an ice cream truck there? And you have to decide whether or not, like, this is an imposter situation, or is this kid in trouble, or like that kind of thing. So I kind of like that. Let's do children. Park slash what did I say it was? Not Jungle Gym. Whatever. It's fine. I know what I'm talking about. And the kind of good thing about this is, for the most part, we don't have to make the pictures for any of this. It's literally, we can do whatever we want because everything's going to be audio. And then use the theater of the mind to kind of fill in the gaps. Hardware store. I say 2 people. Adults. I see that being more of an adult thing. Wrong one. Cable company. Community center. about community center. I'm not gonna lie. A part of me likes it, but let's just put it in for now. Because it plays... Because when discussing about it last time, the community center is a place for people to go to. When they don't have like a place to go home. And it's like, oh, okay, don't worry. Like, there's an emergency, everyone go to the community center. Could be fine. Right? But then that kind of adds an added layer of complexity of, so can we now get people to the community center? Right? Do we send it over there? Do we not send it over there? Do they automatically go there? What if it gets taken? What if it doesn't get taken? You now have a one area that is just full of people. And I could see it being a benefit as far as sending people to then defend the community center, thus losing a lot of your community. And having to make a decision between that and another important location. But besides that, that's it. To run a community center, okay, you'll need one person. Hospital. Why is it like that? Hospital, I would say, what would be good? How many people would be a good amount for a hospital? Like a very small hospital. You would need the front desk. You would need a doctor. You would need a handful of nurses. Do we want to say like 4? I want to say like 4. Adults. Adults or children? I'll say. Because it could be, there could be like a child ward. We can, and besides we can do a lot of creepy stuff with the hospital. And then we have a school. School's very similar to the community center. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I'm a little tired today. But you know, I'm doing good. I'm having a nice little fruit shake. Hopefully that'll kind of like perk me up a bit. If not, I do have a caffeinated drink in the fridge as kind of like a last resort. Because on top of working on this game, I wanted to work on editing the Dead Space stream. How about you, Lux? How are you holding up? Bored? Well, that explains why you're watching me. Just joking. Well, you don't want to give Destiny another shot? School. Let's have one person be at the school. And, oh, you know what? No, let's have like 5 people be at the school. No destiny for me ever. There'd need to be 5 people at that school. I mean, there's definitely going to be more. You would have like the principal, you would have like 4 teachers, and then you have like the janitor. No, you would have like the principal, 3 teachers, a janitor, and a lunch lady. Yeah, we'll have 5 people. And the people who would call would be adults / teens. Like the teens sneaking into school to like do some, I don't know, tag a locker. You know, something. Hey, none of that. We're gonna go to Do Not Disturb. I don't blame you. I think I put... Hold on. I'm genuinely curious. Let me check. I put an ungodly amount of hours in Destiny. How many hours of Destiny have I played? I don't know if you've ever done it. It's called Time Wasted on Destiny. Here we go. Let's see here. Where is it? I just clicked on it. Cannot read properties of undefined reading profiles. I mean, Cyberpunk, I've never played it, but I should. Oh, the API seems to be down. That's unfortunate. Anyway, last time I checked, I have spent 1,600 hours, I think, on Destiny. Like 1,700, I want to say. I played it for like years and years and years, like consistently. In fact, the group of friends that I have now, I found them through Destiny. It was an LFG for a raid where they were looking for someone to push Atheon off the ledge because that was the only way you could beat it, pretty much. And I was a warlock at the time who knew how to do it. And I joined their raid team, and you know, we just kind of started vibing after that, and I'm still friends with them to this day. So I'm definitely thankful for Destiny for the community aspect, but it's just such a different place than what it used to be. It's kind of become something that's just not good for me anymore. I thought Destiny 2 would have fixed it, but it did not. So we got the school. We have 5 people working at the school, and these are like not necessarily super realistic. I'm just thinking about like ratio, right? If we boil the people down to like the basic denominator, then how many people would work there theoretically? I like abandoned buildings. Zero people because it's abandoned. This is a teen specific place. Gas station, car shop. The gas station, car shop. I can see it being 2 people. One person in the car shop, one person at the gas station, and it's just the one guy at the gas station. Well, 3 people. Like the head person, and then car shop slash that. Gas station, I would also say adults slash teens. I can see the teens hang. You know what? I'm gonna say teens slash adults. Gas station gives off more of a teen vibe than an adult vibe. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. We have the general store that has fresh food. I mean, it's something that should exist, but man. Do I not think of any good reason why it would even be open in the late night / early morning? Maybe we get an automatic... Ooh, this is interesting. What if we get automatic calls from someone breaking into the general store? And then we have to determine if it's just a regular break-in. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Where should I put this? It is not necessarily fleeing. We'll do additional for the general store, it would be automatic security alarm calls. What if we didn't always get calls from people? What if we sometimes got calls saying like, this is an automatic message saying house on 1, 2, 3 Maple Lane has a like intruder, please send appropriate personnel, like stuff like that. And then there's another thing where it's like, oh, what if we have one homeless guy, right? Because otherwise you're just gonna assume that it's gonna be a imposter breaking in and getting food for whatever reason, right? But if you throw a wrench of like, oh no, there's just a guy that is known to like break in so they can get some food, right? It's like they're not a bad person, but they're also like need to kind of get around the law a little bit in order to survive. And so like having one single homeless guy where it's like, oh, it could be Frank. It's like we never have enough proof to convict him, but like he's been known to like break into things. And I kind of like that additional of like, is it Frank? Is it someone who's trying to run away? Like we could really paint it so that like it could be an imposter breaking in, it could be Frank breaking in, then it could also be a person who literally like they ran out of the house as they were being attacked and they just kind of went into that area hoping to find some sort of way to defend themselves, right? Now, oh, I mean, if that's the case, do we also... I'm kind of showing my roots, not really roots, but what if we add a gun store? Right? This is a small town in America. Now, granted, I was going to try to prevent any kind of landmarks to determine that it's located in a specific country, but no, these in my brain it was America's small towns, because that's what I'm mostly familiar with as far as stereotypes and things of that nature. Not that I'm saying, I guess I don't know if there's no gun stores in small towns across the pond, but I think there isn't. I'm pretty sure there's not. But here, certainly, no. Because thinking about it, it's like, well, if things got out of hand, they would be like, all right, I'm going to go to the gun store. Let me get a refill on my shake. I'll be right back. And I am back. Go. So, gun store. It would make sense there was a gun store, because then you really have to be like, is it just a person breaking in to try to defend themselves because they saw an imposter? But if they did manage to get their hands on it, then you have afraid, armed civilians who are probably going to make mistakes, but then they can defend themselves easier. Do we want two ways for them to defend themselves? Right? Because one way was they'd go to the hardware store. I guess we can have the hardware store be the main way. We don't want to double dip, right? So, because then we have the liquor store. Then we would have like one person working there, and then definitely adults. So what I think about that one is like, this case, this person who calls is drunk as hell. So they're slurred, and you're just like, and they're trying to understand what they're saying, but you don't know if the weirdness of the voice is because they're drunk or because they're an imposter, right? Pretending to be drunk. That can add a little bit of extra flavor. What else? What else do we got? Did I do general store already? I did not. General store. I say like 4. Adults. /teens. I like the idea of a laundromat though. And that leaves some really good background noise that we can mess with. Like, you know how the cycling of like the washing machine, not washing machine. Yeah, washing machine and the dryer just kind of cycling in the background. And what if it's like they're on the phone and they're trying to be like, "Oh my god, it's here. I can't even it's like tell us what it looks like." And it's like, I can't even tell you what it looks like. And then you hear, thank you. And then you hear like one of the washing machines like ding that it's done, and it's like right next to the person calling, and they're like, shit, and then like the phone cuts off. I think that would be a pretty good scene. So let's do laundromat. Honestly, the laundromat doesn't really need a person working there. I think that's more of a community thing. Like, I don't think of a place that's like dry cleaning. I think it's just like a place where there's a bunch of washing machines and dryers, and people just put in money. What? Oh, okay. There's a cable company. That would have like three people, adults. What if the cable company was also like a news network? That way, like, the screen that's bright in the background could also just be like, this just in, like, so and so and so and so's house got broken into. Like, you would leave that in the background, and then you can kind of see what the public is seeing, and then the public can react to what they are seeing. I think that'd be kind of cool. And you'll know when the cable company gets taken over. Or maybe you don't. That's kind of cool. I like that. The idea of like the news network gets taken over, and now the imposters are now mimicking the news anchors, and they are telling them false information, and they're telling them like, leave your homes, leave your doors unlocked. You know what I mean? Like, this is a safe place, you don't need to lock. Like, that kind of thing. I think that we could have some fun with that. So I'm falling more and more in love with the cable company, especially if we add some news to it, because it could be like the people who are doing the news are kind of like, oh, they're so sick and tired of working in this small town, and one day they're gonna make it big and go to some of the big city and become a big news anchor, right? So they're really hungry for like a good news story. So they start sharing stuff even though they shouldn't. We could really play with that. And some good character development too. I like it. I like it. Then we have a vet. The vet, front desk, I think, and a couple nurses. So I think like 3 people. And the people that would call from the vet. What's the name of the news network? Ooh. That's a good question. I don't even know the name of the small town. I don't want to make it either. I want to make it real enough where a town that actually disappeared in real life or something, or it has to be 100% fiction. It can't be like a real town that's just also there. Because I also, like, I'm going to be making up the addresses and stuff like that, and I don't want to accidentally make like a real address and get in trouble for that. So, I don't know. Should that be one of the... Oh, maybe that could be one of the Easter eggs. So, as far as the cable company goes... News network. Let's see here. It is YouTube. Analog horror. Here we go. Wasn't there... There was a news network that was an analog horror. There's a thing called Local 58. Authentic videotape footage of a television station that has been continuously hijacked over several decades. There's Archive 81, Normal Hornets. The thing I was thinking of was Gemini Home Entertainment. I think that's what I was thinking of when I was like, oh, something sounds similar to it. All incidents taking place around the world, including the appearance of various dangerous alien creatures in the United States, an ongoing assault on the solar system, Rogue Planet, Walton, Mandela Catalog, Smile Taste, Monument Mythos, Midwest, Angelica. Backrooms. Skinamarink is considered analog horror, by the way, which is really funny to me. I see it. Well, the Mandela Catalog is set in a fictional county in Wisconsin. We could say, welcome to the Mandela News Network. But that's too on the nose. Because one, the Mandela Catalog is, which is threatened by the presence of alternates, doppelgangers who coerce the victims to kill, to unalive themselves and can manipulate audiovisual media. Which is, you know, a little more extreme than what I'm working with, but not by much. What would it be? I don't know. I have to think about it. But as of right now, I have nothing. I'll just keep that on my radar for now. What was I doing? What was I saying? Vet. Yeah, 3 people. And I was thinking with this, with the vet, you would have adults who would call, basically saying the animals are freaking out. And then the consequence of the vet is now you have like all the animals get out. So now a lot of your calls are coming in with dogs freaking out and like going off in the background, and it's no longer a tall tale sign of, you can't use that as like a determinant anymore. Every call will now have pets in the background. That could be interesting. Then I don't think I want to do power plant. Did I do diner? No. We can do church with a graveyard. We could potentially do something interesting with that. So the church, I think, would be the only place that we would be able to kind of like play with the voices on the phone, in that it will have like an echo effect to it. And I think that could be pretty effective, where it's like they're like, hey, we got a notice that someone broke into the church in the middle of the night. We're gonna go in, and then as soon as they walk in, they start talking, and then while they're talking, the voice transitions into an echoey, they're in a much more open area kind of thing. And we could play with that. Okay. Church, I could see one person. And I don't see teenagers sneaking into a church. Not really. So this is what we got. We got a park, we got a hardware store, we have a community center, we have a hospital, we have a school, we have abandoned buildings, we have a gas station, we have a liquor store, a general store, a laundromat, a cable company, a vet, and a church. Walk into a bar. Am I missing anything that I feel like? I mean, there's also a drugstore, but I don't know about that one. Let's see here. We have, what's our potential here? Click on the houses and gives player the ability to take notes. I like that. Ask house. Being able to ask questions. Try to convince the people of mimics. If successful, will not let people in, I think. I like the idea of red herring calls provide additional contexts. So like the rambling grandma telling about her neighbor Steve and how he's no longer married and his wife left him. Suddenly Steve calls saying that his wife is being attacked. And you're like, wait a second. It's ex-wife, and she's not there anymore, right? And we want some of the harder pieces of information is context sensitive, right? Maybe the context sensitive is less to do with an immediate context and more to do with contexts that is much more deeper in understanding the lives of the people that you interact with. And in order to know that, you have to listen in on longer calls that may not be important and taking up time that you actually need in order to help save other people. But in the beginning of the game, you have more time than you know what to deal with, and that's by design. So you can take that opportunity to listen to the red herring calls, make your own assumptions, make your own notes by right-clicking on them, and then when things get crazy, you'll be able to pull up more of a context of like, how was I supposed to know that? And it's like, well, if you listened to the calls, then you would have been fine. But then we would have to be very careful in the random choices that may go through as far as phone calls, that like certain ones won't come out unless you are have the opportunity to be given that information. Also, it does open the door of, do we want the information to stay consistent? Is Steve always going to be divorced? Or will Steve not be divorced sometimes, right? Because if we keep it consistent, if we keep it too consistent, it becomes predictable. It becomes, oh, I know this because I've seen someone else play it, so I can play it better now. And I don't necessarily want... We want to kind of avoid the fact that watching it or playing it previously gives you too much of an edge in your second playthrough, right? This game is not a game where I want the design to be for you to fail over and over again, just so that you can get the information in order to get as far as possible. Because that's more of like roguelike kind of mentality. One red herring should lead to a painting of an old Gregorian monk with red hair. What? What am I missing with that reference? You're too smart for me. You're just too smart for me, bud. Red herring. It would be. An old Gregorian monk with red hair. How would I go about that? You know what? And the potential... Actually, no. Hold on. Additional. Add painting in the main room of stained glass of church. Yeah, I'm thinking like it would be up. It would be up where the player can see it, because pretty much for the most part, the player's going to be looking at a screen that's going to be sending emergency vehicles from one place to another. They're not going to see what's actually located there. So our options for visual gags are very limited. Audio, we have all the flexibility in the world, but keep making it so that it's like something that can be seen, because I need to somewhat know what to tell it, right? So, of old Gregorian monk with red hair. Red hair ring. There you go. There you go. Okay. Is there anything? Could be a skin condition. Like a ring of red hair. Maybe. Maybe. Alright. We have the park / ice cream to have that really eerie interaction with the ice cream man music in the background. We have a hardware store that will kind of allow people to kind of like bunker up a bit once they get saved from being attacked. We have community center, which I'm still not 100% as far as going about in that way. It feels weird not to have a community center in a small town because it seems to be such a prevalent thing. But at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't supply a whole lot. We have a hospital, which makes a lot of sense. And we can really play into that as well as far as things really going out of hand. We have a school in which, like, I'm thinking janitor could call that someone had broken into, or there are signs that someone's there. Or we could also have teenagers who snuck into the school to, you know, do something. I don't know. Whatever teenagers do. You have abandoned buildings that are strictly a teen thing where it's just like, oh my gosh, we lost so-and-so. Someone call the cops. I'd rather face the cops than my mom, you know? Kind of like weird backwards kind of logic where it's just like the worst possible thing is to have your parents find out. Gas station allows people to leave, but if that falls, it makes it so that anyone who tries to leave essentially gets taken. Liquor store would allow an opportunity to have someone call, but they're super drunk and very slurred. So it's very difficult to understand as well as determine if they are being mimicked or if they're just being drunk. a little additional complexity there that I enjoy. General store is it's similar to community center. It's kind of like, why would there be anyone at the general store? The only exception that I can think of is like general store is where we would get a call that someone broke in, like automatically as a security measure, and then we have to decide just from the context clues of someone broke into a general store, do we assume that it's a mimic or is it someone breaking in to steal food, right? Laundromat, I really like the idea. So let's break this up. Let's break this up in a couple of different sections, right? Because it seems like we have different kind of groups of things. They do different things, and we don't really want to double up too much, right? We don't want too much of the same stuff, especially we have a very limited map. We have all these things. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 13 like points of interest, and we still have, let's see here, if we add it all up, it's 1, 3, 4, 8, 13, 16, 17, 21, 24, 27, 28. 28 people who work in order to fill these slots in. So we would need, like, this doesn't include seniors who don't work. This doesn't include children who don't work. So if there's 24 adults, as far as our ratios on the left side, or 28 adults. Then we divide that by 4. Then that means we have 7 kids, 14 teens, 28 adults, and 7 seniors. So 7 plus 7 plus 14 plus 28. That's 56 people. That's a lot of people. If we decide to give voices to every one of these people, that's 56 voices. That's 56 different kinds of calls that we can get. That's a lot. Now, we don't have to give all of them voices, right? Not all of them have to talk. So we can say, like, of these adults, we can say of the 28 adults, let's say a vast majority of them are like family, right? They are a family unit. They're either raising their kids by themselves or they're raising it with a partner. All teens are the same. It's the same guy. All 14 teens are the same voice. That would be funny. So if that was the case, let's assume 24 out of the 28 are like families. We'll have like 4 people who are either like divorced or they're just single, right? I don't know why, for me, it's weird to think that there are single people in small towns. But I don't know. There's just something about it where it's like, there's a small town. Why are you like, as far as staying in a small town and not moving somewhere else? Like, maybe that's my own biases coming through. Let's say 24 though. So we are called spinsters. So if we do 24 of the 28 adults are members of a family, let's assume that of those 24, 20 of them are married to each other. So we have 20 married. We have 4 that are like single mothers or single fathers, right? Single parents. And then 4 who are just single. But the 20 are married to each other. So what this would equal as far as 56 is that we should probably have like a handful of variation between how many kids people have. So they need to have at least 7 kids, 7 children, 14 teens. What that says to me, so there's 21 kids. There's 20 married, there's 24 people with kids, and there's 21 kids. That isn't how... I don't think I can math that. I think there needs to be at least... Well, we could say they're married but without kids. That's true. We'll have a majority, we'll have like... %, oh, like 60% single, like 1 kid, 30% 2 kid, 10% 3 kids. %, 1, 30%, 2, 10%, 3. So in that case, I feel like there's an easy math of way of doing this, and I'm just not doing it the easy way. Because essentially it's 2.5. I mean, we could do 2.5, right? Just 2.5 kids. But I don't know. To me, this when I've gone through a couple of different scenarios in my head, there's only like been a handful of like, oh man, I had to bring my little brother around, and they're like, oh, that's lame. What's the half kid gonna be? Is maybe the half kid is a baby? Oh shit. What about babies? Well, there's a couple of ways to go about it, but none that I'm a fan of. Because a part of me is just like, oh, one of my kids is in a wheelchair because they're 90 individually voiced babies. But I mean, we could have one of the kids be like in a wheelchair and they don't have legs, but I also don't want to give the impression that just because you're in a wheelchair you're half a person. I don't know if I like that intent. Man, child, husband is the half kid. Actually, that ain't bad. Just a really just like ugh. That's not bad. One family with 2.5 kids. Husband is the 0.5. Yeah. That's funny. And I actually like the statement. All the other statements, I'm just like, I don't like any of this. No, that one's good. Because that also paints a really good, like, interaction there, right? Where it's like, the husband's being a big man-child, and that endangers everybody because he wasn't taking things seriously when he should have, right? Or everyone kind of knows the wife's situation, and they are just like, listen, she's married to Jerry, and we all know how Jerry is like, so just you know, give her a little slack. She essentially has 2.5 kids. And then that's the joke. The joke of the small town is this wife has 2.5 kids, where she has 2 kids, and then a husband was essentially another child. And I kind of like that extra level of depth to that particular family. So that's one of them. So one of the married couple is that I'm kind of thinking. I had a moment where I was just like, is this really important right now, Idealist? Do you need to be going over this now? Like, you still haven't figured out how many houses you want, and yet you're trying to figure out the family dynamics of all these people. But I think in order to know how many houses we want to utilize, we want to have this good ratio going. And then it's like, cool, this is what we're working with. Then we can place everything in and try to make it fit. And then if it doesn't fit, then we will take out things accordingly to kind of like trim the fat. So I don't think we're going on I have a tendency to go on tangents, so I'm just making sure that I'm not going on a tangent where it's like I'm counting my chickens before they hatch kind of deal, where it's like, cool, you're gonna make all this effort to make all these stories for all these people, which is really interesting and really cool. But then when you get down to like what you need to do, it's like you're gonna have to throw a lot of that away, and it was wasted effort. But I don't think that's the case this time. So actually, what we might do, there might be a bit of a heck of a transition for y'all, because you're going from this nice dimly lit thing. I wish there was an Excel thing that would allow the like the blocks, the cells to be dark, and I could type in like white font versus that, but I don't think so. Let's do, what do we call this? We'll call this map brainstorm. Wait, is there? Let me see. If we go to account, maybe office theme black, that's fine. No backgrounds. Maybe we just Google it. Let us Google to see if there is a way. Is there a way to make the Excel cells black? Open Excel file. Ooh, hold on.
Including its.
Okay, they talk about the dark gray, and then we'll open it. And then page layouts, backgrounds. And then we can set the background. Apparently we'll have to copy and paste like a paint thing. That's so much. It's not terrible though. You're just gonna have to deal with it for now. So we're gonna switch to last call. We're gonna go to this guy, last mount, and then boop. Oh, there we go. Flashbang. All right, then let's just move things over, shall we? So we have the name, we have amount of people who work there, and the types of people who would call for an emergency. We have park plus ice cream slash ice cream man. We have community center. We have hospital, school, abandoned building, gas station slash car repair. Then we have liquor. Why can't I spell liquor? Alcohol. Store. General store. Laundromat. Cable company. Slash news network. Vet. Church. Slash graveyard. And then we got 1, 2, 1, 4, 5, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0, 3, 3, 1. What? What did I miss? School abandoned, gas station, general store, laundromat, cable, vet, church. What? 1, 2, 1, 4, 5, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0, 3, 3, 1. I'm going crazy. Oh, here it is. I forgot hardware store. Types of people. We would have children, adults, everyone, adults slash children, adults slash teens, teens, teens slash adults, adults, adults slash teens, adults. There you go. And then over here, we have our needs. We have children, teens, adults, and seniors. But here's also the problem. We forgot babies. Should we just include babies with children? Should we just shove them into one where it's like, it's a child, but it could be anything from like a few weeks old to like preteen. Technically adults, I'm classifying anything from like 20 to like 50. So I guess, you know, it's not too far-fetched. Ratio 1 2 4 1. And then we'll have sum of all this is 28. Then we will do ratio it's like equals that time if you're 19, then in this case you would be considered late teen, early adults. I don't know, would 18 be like adult doing adult? Like it's almost like that there's that period of time between like 18 and like 22, 23 where it's like you're not, you are an adult legally, but you're still like figuring things out. It's like, I think that's why they consider young adults a completely separate category. Sometimes where it's just like so legally you are an adult, but you're still definitely in the figuring life out stage of life that teens very much have. We're gonna do is 28 adults. So we're going to do this being 7, 14, and 7. Oh. Sum of all these is 56. All right. All my math seems to be going together. And then we had, of the 28 adults, we want 20 married. We want 4 single parents. And then 4 single. Right. Of the married, 20 married, so in total it's 10 houses, right? So I'm thinking the 20 married to each other. To each other. Then you have 4 single parents where, you know, so of this, there are houses. There would be 18 houses, right? Because you would have 20 people married to each other. So you would have 10 houses for that. Then you would have 4 single parents and then 4 single people. So you'd have 18 houses from the adults side of stuff. Seniors, I think, would also, so houses, you would have 18 houses here, and then seniors would each have its own house as well, right? 7 seems like a lot. Not gonna lie, 7 seems like a lot. Because in my brain, there is the grouchy old man who doesn't listen to anybody, and then there is the rambling grandma that no one can escape from. And already that feels like a good number. But again, maybe my biases are kind of seeping through a bit. And I mean, there are plenty of households where like the grandparents live in the house with the adults, right? They like help take care of stuff, especially the single parents, right? The single parents was like, yeah, they don't have a partner, but they still have like their mom. So, what if, so of these 20, right? We would have the mom with 2.5 kids. Right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 married couples to kind of figure out. We would have 4 single parents. We can have like single mom with her mom helping out, and then we already moved this down to 6. We have what other good parent dynamics here? Well, also we need to figure out, as far as we need to equal out the children teens thing. So we have 21 kids. We have 21 kids and 24 people with kids. Right? Well, technically we have 14 groups of people with kids, right? So essentially, if each one of those had one kid, it would be like 14 kids, and we would still missing. What we could do is do half one, half two, right? Because then you would have 7 and then 14, which would be 21. We could do it that way. But let's see here. If we did it what I suggested before, where it's like 0.6 times 14. So it would be 8 with 1 kid. Then you would have 0.3 times 14. You would have 4 with 2 kids. And then you would have 0.1. 1 with 3 kids. Right? So it would be 8 plus 8 plus 3. We're off by 2 kids. Well, first of all, I don't think that's enough groups either. Yeah, we're 1 group short. So the 1 group will have 5 with 2 kids. Boom. So we have 8 plus 10 plus 3. So that's 21 kids. And 8 plus 5 plus 1 is 14. Okay, we got it. The math be mathin'. So we have 21 kids, 7 of them children. I think like we're gonna have like first time, so we're gonna have to split them up now. The 1 with 3 kids. We'll have it be, let's see here. We'll do 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, right? So we need 7 children, 14 teens. So most of these are going to be teens. I'm thinking for this, I'm thinking 1 teen. How am I going to do this? Teen, kid, or child, teen. And then we'll have 2, 1. I'm trying to figure out how to math this so that I can like calculate it to make sure that I'm not going over on the kids or going over on the teens. So 2 children, 1 teen for the 3 kids. We have 5 2 kids. I'm thinking usually either that we're doubling up on the teens or we're doing half and half. I don't think there's going to be 2 kids on here, or 2 childs. 2 children? 2 children. Yeah. So we'll have... How should I break this up? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this needs to be 1. There's only 1 of these, there's 5 of these, and then there's 8 of these. And I'm like grouping these, I guess. Listen, just because I use Excel doesn't mean I'm super organized, all right? Sometimes there's meaning to my chaos, but there is often chaos. So, looks like it actually might rain. Excellent, love the rain. So we're thinking, let's see here. It will be children, teens equals sum of there we go, and then boom. There we go. Now they should be tracking it. So for this family, we'll have 2 teens. For this family, we'll have 2 teens. For this family, we'll have 1 and 1. Actually, you know what? Let's do you. We'll do the same for... That way it's also kind of clear. Or... and then 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there we go. Why am I like this? All I want to do now is organize this. There. Am I happy? A little. I'm a little happy. Why is it showing up weird for y'all? It's fine. There are lines here. Just trust me. So 1 and 1. 2 and then 1 and 1. We're gonna highlight so we can kind of make sure. So we have 8. We have 21. We want 7 kids. So then we have like a newborn, like a couple that had a newborn baby. A couple. At this point, we could just kind of like do whatever. We could just fill it in, right? So like, boom, boom, and then boom, 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 boom. There we go. This is our family distribution, right? Our one family actually has 3 kids. They have 2 children and 1 teen. A lot of the people that have 2 kids have teenagers, but some of them kind of have a mixture of it. This one in particular, like the 1 and 1, I want to have that interaction with the abandoned factory where the mom makes them take the little one with them, and then the little one ends up being attacked. So we could definitely play around with that. As far as single parents, right? Because we have 14 groups of people with kids. That means there are 4 single parents. So we're gonna have to choose of these which lucky parent is going to get the 3 kids. No, I'm not gonna make the single parent have 3 kids. That sounds rough. Ooh. It's already difficult enough being a single parent. I'm not gonna make them have 3 kids with it. I will have one of the 2 teens be a single parent though, because that dynamic of like, you know, someone who, you know, is working super hard and doing their best, but they're not connecting with their teenagers is, you know, a little cliche, but I still think is a very good dynamic to have. And then we have... there's the rain. Love it. And then we'll just have like single parent with a really young one. And then we'll have a single parent with 1. There you go. Boom. Done. Most of the single parents have 1 kid. One of them has 2. But speaking of counting our chicken before they hatch, we haven't even decided if we're going to run with all of these yet. So our numbers may change. But if our number changes, that's fine. We're not going too much farther into this. This was just an example of showing like, okay, so we have 1, 8, 5, and 1 as far as people with these amount of kids. So there are 14 and then 4 singles. So there's 18. So there is in fact 18 houses. And how many of these would have like seniors still living there, right? I don't see there being like a senior center. I think I can see the expectation is to take look after your grandparents, right? I think for this one, can we do like that? Yeah, we can do double border for those that will have a senior living with them. I can see this one being it, that one being it. I'm not gonna say there's a whole lot more. So let's say it's 2, right? So we have 7. Now we're down to 5. I want to say 2 of the seniors there are 5 of them. I think 2 of them, so overall there's 7, right? 7 of them. Not 47 seniors, they're growing. 2 of them are living with younger generation. They're being taken care of, right? They're helping with taking care of the children. They're, you know, they're also being taken care of by the children, you know, just like, I was gonna say, good old healthy family dynamic. I think, you know, I'm not opposed to healthy family dynamics, but that's certainly not going to be the case for all of these guys. And then we will have, I want to say like 2 that have houses but aren't currently utilizing them. So I think like people who are like have reached that age, and let's say they're able, right? They have a good amount of retirement. They are able to move around. They don't really have a whole lot of things weighing them down. They're going to be going around and traveling. They have investments. They have like they have other things going on. So then it's like, yeah, they have a house in this small town that they grew up in, but that's not where they're staying. They're staying in a beach house in Florida or a condo. You know what I mean? So I think it would be equals minus. There you go. No, what? Yeah, no. Never mind. I could easily just do the math. Now we have 3 left. I'm fine with 3 living by themselves. Living by themselves. I'm fine with that. We have grouchy old man. We have rambling grandma. And I just need to think of one more. Maybe less stereotypical. Or maybe it's someone that no one has heard from in a while. They like keep to themselves. I mean, we could go down the route of crazy cat lady if we really wanted to. As long as we don't make it too one-dimensional, you know? It would be kind of funny to get a call and be like, there's just this cacophony of cat meows in the background, and you're like, oh my god. Is this woman just taking every cat off the street? And the answer is yes. There is currently a cat problem, and she is the source of it. But that kind of equals everything else. We lowered it down to 5. But 2 of them are empty, right? So in totality, we have 23 houses at the moment. Right now, we have 23, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have call for emergency. Amount of landmarks. Crap, I forgot it already. I literally counted 1, 2. Let's just look. It is 13. Oh, in case people don't know this, if you highlight a certain amount of things, if you look on the bottom right, I'm kind of blocking it at the moment. In the bottom right, it'll say count, and then it'll say a number, and that will be how many things you've highlighted. So that way you don't have to manually do it like I just did because I forgot that existed. So we have 13 landmarks in 23 houses. In totality, that is 36 different locations on a map that then we need to plan around and make an interesting interaction and map location for each one of those. Right? Which is a lot. It is a lot. So let's group these things and make sure there isn't a whole lot of double dipping. If there is a lot of double dipping, then we'll kind of lean back. We'll take some of them away. We're like, maybe this isn't the best choice, right? So of the landmark groupings, we have our spooky locations. Spooky locations are locations primarily made because I liked the idea of playing around stuff in the background of them. And it's like, it's just a very good place to create good narrative experiences for the player, right? Which, to be honest, should be, I wouldn't say primary, but is very important. The gameplay can feel really satisfying, but if it isn't scary, it's just a satisfying game, right? So under this would be the Park Ice Cream Man. It would be, oh, we're gonna do this. Conditional, highlight, duplicate values. No. It would be highlight, duplicate values. There you go. Okay. And then we'll put another highlight down here. The duplicate values in here we want red, because we want to duplicate all these without double dipping. So the Park Ice Cream Man is spooky. Abandoned buildings is spooky. Laundromat is spooky. And church graveyard is spooky. The main purpose of those is to spook. Then we have not interactions, but gameplay focused locations. Gameplay focused locations is like, they exist so that it kind of plays into the actual gameplay loop, in that it like either messes things up for you if you fail, or it introduces a new layer of complexity once it's been kind of introduced and you know what's going on. So the hardware store is one of them. The hospital, the gas station, the hospital, I'm not sure, the cable company, and then there's also the vet. The vet's only kinda. The vet's only kinda. Because I haven't decided that the mimics, if they can mimic animals, but I don't see why it wouldn't be able to mimic animals, you know? So I don't know for the vets. Because in my brain, the vet was, if that gets taken over, all the pets that are at the vet would get loose, and then there will always be like dogs barking in the background in your calls, or like cats, birds, dogs, like what I think are going to be the only three that I'm going to add in there, because they tend to be the most vocal of the three pets that are, you know, most common. And that would make it more difficult to determine if you can utilize that as a way to determine mimics. But it's not nearly as deep as hardware store, as gas station, car repair, or cable company news network, right? It's not nearly that deep, where it's like you can play an EMS in response to things. You can, if they take the gas station, people who leave will end up like, they will die. And then the hardware store allows people to bunker down once they have come across there and survive the mimics. But the vet is just, if you fail, vet feels very similar to the hospital. So I would think instead where it's like consequence locations. In consequence locations is like place where if it fails, things go really wrong. So like the vet, it's like, okay, cool. It's a, if things go wrong, if you lose this, things will get harder for you. And most of those consequence locations is something like the hospital or community center, where there is a large increase in spread. Like if you lose the community center, all the people that were taking shelter there are now gone, and the community center tends to have the most possible connections that can lead to, right? We want to, the amount of different choices a location can then attack after it's been taken over plays a big role on how you approach things. So it's better to kind of like channel the mimics, the imposters, to areas in which there can only be like a handful of options that they could go to, in which then you're like, okay, we're good to go. We don't really have to worry as much in this of these other areas. Whereas if you lose something that can go into like 10 different areas, then you're like, it could be any one of them. And there's no way for me to know at this point on how that goes. There could be empty houses, you don't know. Like, so that's what they played. They're more like, so the hospital is you lose a lot of people, and then you can't send anyone to get, like, if anyone gets really hurt, you can't send them to the hospital anymore, right? Community center is much more of, they have a lot of connections. Now we have school, alcohol store, and general store. School. Well, thinking it through, no one should be there. It's in the middle of the night. There is a janitor. People could sneak in. Things go out of why. School could play a similar point of a, like, multiple. Maybe we should make another one. Multiple connections. We'll have community center go here, and then we'll have school also go here. And then consequence locations are dogs get loose, now you can't use those hints anymore. Hospital is you can't save people once they're hurt anymore. Plus you lose a lot of people. Alcohol store and general store. This one is interesting opportunities. Are these two? Manage rules. Duplicate values. And then we'll do this. Set this as E. There we go. So here is our stores, right? We have spooky locations. It's just it makes good atmosphere, good opportunities for. The interesting opportunities one is just very much just you have someone who's slurred. But do you need an alcohol store to have people who are drunk? I don't know. And the thing is like, I almost want to treat the alcohol store and general store is almost like, well, actually the general store was a multiple location thing. You have the community center, you have the school, and then you have the general store, which often have a lot of residential connections between the three. The alcohol store was very much just like, I kind of treated it as a house where it's like, it didn't really have a whole lot. I don't know. I don't know. All right. I think I'm hitting a mental cap here. So, what can we do with our leftover 2 hours then? That would be fun. We could go for a drive. We could... What else could we do? We haven't played some Planet Crafter in a long time. Oh, there was a huge update. Hold up. We wanted to add a few things in version 1.0. We didn't have the time to do so, so here's a new free update with all this content less than 2 months after the 1.0 release. You will be able to use the new explosive devices to access new hidden areas, such as the new Red Falls biome. Okay. We improved the procedural Rex generation to be more engaging and fun to explore by adding new rooms. And if you were lucky while exploring, you might discover a genetic trait or a new animal species. Additionally, we added a new skin system, allowing you to change your outfits by selecting more than 15 skins. This will make it easier to differentiate between you and your friends when playing in co-op. As usual, we added new items and quality of life features, fixed some bugs, and hid new secrets. That could be fun. Okay. Okay. That might be something that's worth the time. Let's see. What else would be a good idea? Honestly. Let's just do Planet Crafter. Alright. Okie dokie. crafts planet. Planet crafter. Updated accordingly. Okay. Then we'll have game capture. Boom.